Hello, 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 man. It's me, AD Summer for four in the house. So, guys, we just saw some crazy upsets today in the Europa League, guys. So I'm interested to see how because guys, this Europa League, it's got a lot more interesting than I thought it would be. You know, and we're gonna discuss about it. We're gonna discuss all about it on this stream, guys. We're guys to like and subscribe. The links out there in the StreamYard tab. If you guys want to join, you're more than welcome to join. And we're gonna be live for around an hour, I suppose, on that. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get started. So let's go ahead and start. So, we're guys to start do this. So let's go ahead and wait for a few people to join before we start. So hello, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, it feels weird you joined from this account, but no issues there. Oh, there we go. Okay. So yeah, the stream was obviously delayed because we had extra time in the games, and that Roma Bologna game. Oh my geez, that was a crazy game. You know what? Let's discuss the big games first. I think we should discuss the big games first. I want to discuss upsets first, actually, in this stream, because those upsets definitely had an impact, and everything. So let's start. You know what? Let's start with this game first. Roma Bologna. Roma 3, Bologna 4. Wow. What
I
else?
only saw the second half of extra time for the record.
And yeah, I mean, wow, what a game this was. I mean, I still can't believe it, man. I still cannot believe what just transpired in the day. And Roma, man, this is such a missed opportunity, man, because now Roma now have to get top four because I don't think Syria is getting the additional spot. I think it's going to be England and Premier. I think it's going to be La Liga and EPL that's going to get it. So Roma, man. I mean, let's start with Roma. How bad is this for Roma, or do you think we're overreactionary with this?
Well, I think the fact that if they'd lost the first leg, then that probably would have been easier for them to take. But they were at home and they failed to finish the tie off. And the fact that Bologna actually kept it this tight even before the second half of extra time is impressive. And to concede 3 and for a team like that and not lose, that also says something about the Bologna team. And when they didn't beat Roma at home, I thought that they'd missed their chance, but pretty incredible and big moment from their fourth goal scorer to pull through in such a big moment. And I thought Bologna defended well, and that moment at the end wasn't a penalty. There was some shirt pulling on both sides, and the player of Roma went down out on way too leniently.
Yeah, man. I mean, just Roma, man. I mean, it's crazy. You know, it's crazy. Like Gasperini is a Roma coach, and he's a Europa League winner, and he can't even do it with Roma. You know, and so I look at this Roma team, man. It's very, very mediocre. If we're being real, like this is not when Mourinho. This is not the same Roma when Mourinho was there. Like, look at all these. Like, look what has changed. You know.
Look, El Shaarawy was playing in Euro 2012.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You have to move on from El Shaarawy. And Malin is decent at best. He's not that great. Celik is decent, I suppose. Wesley is good. Actually, Wesley is good, to be fair. Wesley is a fantastic fullback. Kona's decent, to be fair. Cristante is washed. He's too old. I think Picel is decent. Mancini is decent, I suppose. Ndika is good. Hermoso isn't good.
I think Kalik was there when Roma had made a final and a semi-final.
Yeah, Shibliar is good goalkeeper. But man, Roma, man, this team needs overhaul. There's so many old players in this team. And for me, even if Roma did make it past this, I'll be honest with you guys, I don't think Roma was going to win the Europa League.
This Roma team I think I don't think they get past Aston Villa.
Yeah, I think for me, I think Roma peaked for the Europa League with Mourinho. I think that's when they peaked.
I'd say they peaked with De Rossi.
Maybe, but Mourinho got them to a final. I think that was the best chance. I don't know Roma will get a better chance. But yeah, I mean this team needs a overhaul. I mean look at the injuries, man. Dybala is such a crucial player. Ferguson, Dobrik, Soe. I mean I know injuries are huge too, but man, I mean this Roma team, man. I don't know. I think time's running out for Roma. Roma have to make it back to the Champions League. Like they haven't been back in the Champions League since that 2018, right? When they did that miraculous run.
And that's the standard that Roma have got to be.
Yeah, and like
and back in my days when they were starting out in football, they were also competing in the Champions League. They were usually like third or fourth best team in Italy.
Yeah, it's actually crazy. Like we're actually living in a stage where Roma haven't, it's crazy. Roma haven't even played Champions League football in this decade. That's actually wild if you think about it.
Yeah, serious changes need to be made there.
Yeah, and I just think for Roma, man, I mean it's sad. I mean they put up a good fight. Don't get me wrong. You know, to make it 3-3 after being 3-1 down is decent. You know, Malin scoring the goal, then obviously Pellegrini come off the bench was huge. But I just think Roma just gassed out. The fatigue got to them. And I just think they ran out of energy. And for Bologna, man, credit to this team. Bernardeschi, Castro, Roy. I mean, this is a team that we remember made the Champions League a few years ago. And then all of a sudden, you know, didn't do so well, but they got to Europa League. And Vincenzo Italiano has done a great job. And I'm sure Fiorentina is missing him. So... yeah, I mean, for Bologna, man, can they be a dark horse in the season Europa League quarterfinals? Because they knocked out Roma, which, in my opinion, is probably one of the strongest teams in this competition. So it means a lot, right?
I'd say they have been a dark horse this tournament, and I felt that they had a good chance at overachieving. When I saw that they'd barely beaten Red Star Belgrade, I thought they're not really going to do much, but I think right now they're in the outsiders category in this tournament. They've got to play Aston Villa next. That's going to be difficult, but I give them a better chance at beating Villa than I did Lille.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens to this Bologna team because, as we all know, guys, Italy's down bad. There's no Italian teams left in the Champions League. All of them got knocked out. And in the Conference League, while there's Fiorentina, we know how bad they've been this season, so it's going to be hard. I believe Bologna's the only Italian team left in this competition, I believe.
Yep.
And I think we can all agree Bologna have a better chance to win the Europa League than Fiorentina, right?
Than Fiorentina have at the Conference League?
Yeah.
To be fair, I don't really remember what Fiorentina's bracket's like.
But we all know Bologna a bit better than the season than Fiorentina. So,
but then again, I don't think anyone Fiorentina will play is going to be as good as Aston Villa.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, for Italy, man, Bologna is pretty much the last hope. And for Roma, as I said, man, really disappointing. Round of 16 exit, and I think they got out in the round of 16 last edition as well. If I'm not mistaken, I think they got it to, or it's not quarterfinals. I forgot. Do you remember what was last season?
Which team?
Roma, because I know they had also.
I know they got minimum to the round of 16 because they knocked out Porto in the round of 32.
Yeah, let's see. Oh yeah, they got knocked down the round of 16. This is another round of 16 exit. Okay, fair enough to Bilbao. Bilbao were good that season, but Bologna, this is bad. This is not good. And yeah, Roma
at home too.
Yeah, at home, like Roma, like they always been the nearly team semis in 23-24, 22-23. Obviously, they made this one is bad.
Yeah, I can't cut. I'll cut them a bit of slack in the semi-final one where they lost to Bayer Leverkusen because that was
invincible.
Yeah, and they did cut it close on the aggregate scoreline.
Yeah, but for me, this one there's no defending. You cannot defend this one. This one's bad.
I think think that they had to. I think if they got to quarters, that would have been acceptable.
Yeah, this is a failure season for Roma and for the highest hands Roma. Now, if you want to make up for this, you better finish top four. And looking at
Yeah.
the Serie A table, let me just look at the Serie A table real quick. It's looking touch and don't go. Because Matt, do you agree with me that the Serie A will not get the additional spot?
I hadn't.
I don't think they will.
I haven't kept track on who gets at the coefficiencies, but it's not looking good for Italy.
Yeah, so like, look at this, man. They have to finish top four. I mean, if you get top four, I guess it kind of makes up for the Europa League failure. But if you don't get top four, this looks really bad. And so there's 9 games to go. They're only 3 points off of Como. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be close. Like, it's a 3-way battle between these 3 teams. I don't think Atalanta's in it for me personally. I think it's a 3-way battle, so it's gonna be interesting. But yeah, they have to get top four to make up for this because they have to be back in the Champions League. This team should should be Champions League team worthy. And the fact that they haven't been the Champions League is actually says a lot about the club. But yeah, credit to Bologna, man. As you can see, Bologna are 8th right now. So Bologna knows that Europa League is probably more of a better chance for them to get European football than the league. So, yeah. But yeah, I mean, Bologna, man. Vasalzo Italiano, man. Credit to them. And you know what's interesting, Matt? So you remember a few years ago, Roma played against Milan, and Milan, they actually beat Milan. And now this time, it's an Italian team. So, interesting. And yeah.
But they did well. Roma did well with De Rossi that season. They look good.
Yeah, they got to the semis. So it was good. But what I'm saying here is that I think Mourinho did the best he could with this team, got them to a final. And they lost to Sevilla.
I think the best he could have done was win that final.
Yeah, that's true. But Sevilla are Europa League heritage. So
they let that lead slip, and they didn't capitalize on whilst they were 1-0 up.
Yeah. But it is what it is. And for Roma, as I said, man, disappointment for them, of course. And for Roma, as I said, Gasperini, man, I wouldn't be surprised if Gasperini doesn't finish top 4. I wouldn't be surprised Roma fires him. I know it would be a very harsh sacking, but the standards Roma is to get Champions League, is to compete, and they have to get Champions League after so much investments in the team. And you can't get Champions League. I wouldn't be surprised if Gasperini gets sacked. I know it'd be kind of harsh, but I wouldn't be surprised. So
I think if he wants to have another season, I think he's got to fight for the position and say what and pretty much give his vision and say what needs to change in order for Roma to get that Champions League place.
Yeah. So yeah, for Bologna, man, credit to them, huge win. And yeah, it's hard to believe. I didn't see Bologna scoring an extra, man. They look gas. Credit to them. Mel's been great for Roma. I mean, he's been good, don't get me wrong, but I don't think he's a good long-term replacement. I don't think he's that great. I don't really rate him that much. Actually, let me just check how many goals he scored for them this season. Oh, he's got like 7 goals in 10 games, to be fair. He's been okay, I guess. But as I say, he's only on loan. He's only a loan deal. It's not it's just a temporary Malin, I mean. And that's exact, and I think Pookie's right. When Roma have pressure, these guys fumble. But when Roma don't have pressure, these guys do well. These guys do well when there's no pressure. But when there's pressure, these guys cannot handle pressure. Do you agree with that, Mats?
I hadn't thought about it too much, but there's probably some truth in that.
Yeah, so big upset, man. The Europa League, and I didn't expect this. I'm surprised. And this is a big upset. As we move to the other upset, and wow, French teams, man, French teams. It's a history of France, as they say. I remember I did a video a few years ago at the Rubik's talking about why French teams underperform in Europe, and it's the same old. I know people tell me that PSG won the Champions League last season, which I guess is true, but let's be real, PSG are so much better than the rest of the other French teams.
Yeah,
and that doesn't really. I don't think that really changes much of France football in general. France football still underperforms this league.
I don't think And any other French team has got to a UEFA final since Marseille in 2018.
Yeah, that's true. I believe that's true. So it says a lot about this league. It really does say a lot about this league because every
And
other league
French
in the
teams have got like nowhere near the final or even the semis in the Conference League.
yeah, and for Lyon, man, I mean, how bad is this, man? Mats because this was a really really bad L to lose at home to Celta Vigo. I mean,
To have
at
two
least
players sent off too.
yeah, Nia. Well, the sending off was at the very end, so. But yeah, Nia Kotze, man, you got blood on your hands, man. You costed Lyon in this game, and you guys know, even as a La Liga fan, I don't really like Celta Vigo much, mainly because of Aspas. To be quite frankly honest, because the guy always, I don't know why, but Aspas always turns an R9 against Barca. Like this guy is so annoying to deal with. But to be fair, Aspas not really been that integral this season. He's been more of a super sub to be. He's obviously getting up there in age, and for Celta, man, great win for them on the road. They capitalized on the man advantage. So it's really hard to me for really me to give a judgment of Celta because how if this was 11v11, do they win? I don't think they'd win. I think Leon
Probably
still
not.
win. I think Leon win this. I think the red card completely changed the game.
Also,
So
they have a difference maker with Endrick.
yeah,
It's similar to the Roma Bologna tie. I I think there was like a chance where Celta Vigo could go through, but I thought they'd have to win in the home leg. But the fact they did win in France, albeit Lyon capitulated, it's impressive.
yeah,
Considering that Celta Vigo, I mean, would it be right to say that they're an average La Liga team?
yeah. They're not. They've been Celta now been doing good in La Liga, and just to put a perspective there, just look at how they are in the league right now at the moment. I could just pull it up right here. I believe they're S6 right now. I mean, that's okay, I guess. You know, and let's be real. I think I believe they finished 8th last season in the La Liga. Let me just check real quick. I think they only got the additional spot because of the La Liga got the additional spot last season. Where is it right here?
I think the furthest Celta Vigo.
Oh no, seventh. Sorry.
I think the furthest Celta Vigo will go will be semi-finals.
So I just think for Celta Vigo, man, great win for them. Obviously, Rueda scored the goal, and then Jukala scored. Former Barcelona academy player scored. And yeah, I mean, for Celta, as I said, man, good win for them. Obviously, keeping La Liga hopes alive. And you know what's crazy? People are dissing on La Liga after the disastrous Champions League campaign. Well, guess what? We have more La Liga teams than the Premier League teams in the Champions League. And La Liga beat all the Prem teams, which is interesting. But getting back to the Europa League, I mean, but yeah, for Celta, man, great win for them. And for Lyon, man, really disappointing. Once again, man, French teams underperform. I don't know what's up with French teams in European competitions. These guys cannot handle the pressure, it seems. And yeah, I mean, for Lyon, as I said, I was really hoping Lyon could do it because I actually like the French league, to be honest with you guys. Um, I think the French league is actually a really solid league. It's just that PSG's ruined the league. Like if PSG weren't so dominant, people would respect this league more. You know, because I believe of all the top
I
five
think
leagues, I think
people did respect the league when back in the days of Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Thiago Silva, and Edison Cavani, whilst they were there.
yeah. Well, let's just say that if PSG weren't like dominant, this league would be people would respect it more. And you know what's really interesting, Matt? I believe this league has the
Probably.
most unique winners of the top 5 leagues. It has the most diverse winners, which it shows how competitive this league was. But obviously, it's not competitive anymore because PSG's got the oil money, you know, and all that stuff. So it's just a shame because I really think Lyon could have done it, but it just goes to show you guys that the league phase means nothing in the knockout stage. We saw Liverpool; they finished first last season in the Champions League phase and got knocked out in the round of 16. So it just shows you that just because you finish top doesn't mean you're invincible. You know,
Yeah. I had
and so
Lyon getting to the semi-finals.
yeah. So for Lyon, man, this is a big upset, and for Celta, man, I don't know how I can make up this team. But let's see, man. Celtic and crap houses. I mean, I think the last time in the Europa League was, I think, against Manchester United. I think it's the last time when I think that's when Manchester won the Europa League. I think that was the last time they were in European competitions. I think so. It's been a long time.
Do
I
they
think it was
feature in the Conference League?
no, I don't think they're in the Conference League.
Okay.
Yeah. So for Celta, as I said, it's really hard to make up this team, but let's see in the next round. Next round, who they get. And yeah, let's read some of you guys' comments. I believe Lyon wins, if not for the red, but could say it's just justice because I felt the red Celta was harsh. Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess it makes up for it. The red card Celta got in the first leg. So yeah, for Celta Vigo, man, great win for them. And Elex Mariba, man, former Barcelona player too. Why is this for like Barcelona players, man? It's kind of weird here, but okay. Anyways, and looking at stats right here. Now I know people say, "Oh, Lyon could have won even with 10 men." It's very difficult to win with 10 men. It's very difficult. It's not easy to win with 10 men. It's really hard. So you can maybe say, but at the end of the day, it's really hard. Rarely you see teams win with 10 men, right, Matt?
Yeah, it's not common.
Yeah. So yeah, it is what it is, but that's just how football is. I just wish the red card wasn't given because we could have had a great game. This is why I don't like red cards are given, guys, because red cards generally ruin the game. You know, but the red cards are there for a reason. If you do that kind of dangerous tackle, you got to be sent off. So, Nia Kotze, man, straight red too. All right, so now that we got all the upsets out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about the rest of the other games.
I watched 2 of them.
All right, so let's and then we're gonna also preview the round of 16 quarterfinals as well. Let's start with this one. Braga 4, Ferencváros.
Oh yeah, I watched this one as well.
Braga did the comeback, and man, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, Braga were very dominant in this game. They looked very threatening with their chances. Horta was brilliant. Ferencváros goalkeeper had a tough time with keeping out the chances that Braga had. And at 2 or 3-0, Ferencváros did have some moments where maybe they can compete in this tie. Maybe they're not out of this yet, but Braga looked too strong, and they didn't play over the weekend as well. The league granted them. They seem to grant lately. This season they've granted Braga, Benfica, Sporting CP, but not Porto, like a weekend off with the UEFA competitions in mind. But that's a separate topic. But still, some maybe relevant in the context of minutes played because their team was fresh. But still, Braga, they were definitely the better team here, and if they play like this against Porto this weekend, then it's going to be difficult. As I said last week, they have done well against the top sides in the league, having beaten Benfica, got 2 draws against Sporting CP, and only lost by 1 away at Porto. And they even did win against Nottingham Forest when their chances of the top 8 were slipping away. So the fact that they're now starting to pick up against some of the lesser teams, albeit we have discussed in the past that Ferencváros away from home haven't been good.
Yeah, they're not.
I do think Braga, whilst I don't think they'll be favourites against Real Betis, and I don't really expect Braga to go through over 2 legs. Wait, I think they in the context of Braga, I think they've got a chance to overachieve.
Yeah. Well, we'll do a quarterfinal preview, so let's go more in depth when you do the quarterfinal preview.
But I think the signs are looking good for Braga.
Yeah. For Braga, as I said, I think they're a great team as well. But I think the only concern I have for Braga is the away form. I think that's the only thing that's kind of holding me back because obviously, if you want to win the European competition, you have to do both well, home and away. You can't just win all your home games. Away from home, you can't lose badly, obviously.
Although Mourinho's Roma managed to get to the final having only won one win one away win in the competition.
But I think they tied those away games, didn't they? Most of them.
Um, yeah, a lot of them they did tie.
Yeah, I see. Like, just don't
I
want to lose.
think they had 2 losses on the way to the final.
Yeah, I mean, I think one loss was in the group stage, I think, and I think one
Yeah, and
knockout stage. I think it was against Feyenoord, if I remember correctly.
yeah, they might have lost against Real Sociedad as well.
Anyway, the point I'm trying to make here is that the way you should win the ideal way is to win your home games and then don't lose those away games. Like try to draw
Yeah,
those. You know, that puts you in a great position. You know, so yeah, I just think for Braga, great win for them. Obviously, in Ferencvaros, they still had a good tournament. Round of 16s, nothing to be ashamed of for them. And for Braga, they're in the quarterfinals. And I know this was a Braga team. Braga always do well in these European competitions. People like to underestimate them, and they still do well. So can they do one step further and go to the semis? Which I don't think. I don't think I've seen them in the semis for quite some time. When was the last time they were at semis of European competition?
I'm not sure about semi-finals, but they did make the final of the Europa League in 2011.
Okay. So yeah, interesting. We'll do a quarterfinal preview, by the way. So we're gonna speak more.
I would say expect them to perform better against the stronger teams in this competition.
Yeah. All right. Michelin won.
Than the underdogs that they would come up against.
Yeah,
I did watch
won.
this game.
Michelin won Nottingham Forest too, and Nottingham Forest absolutely dominated Michelin. It was even a contest. The only thing that led Michelin Nottingham Forest down was the finishing. They just sort of scored more goals. Dominguez scored the goal, the midfielder, and Yates scored the goal for them. And yeah, just like the only thing that kind of sucks for them is their attack didn't really perform. But ultimately, didn't really matter.
They had 2 goals ruled out for offside, and the second offside goal in particular was a very close call.
Yeah, and for Michelin, man, I just think that wow. Wait, Billing is on this team?
Yeah,
I thought this guy was a Bournemouth.
Yeah, he played in the first leg as well.
Wow. Wait, when did he move to When did he move to Michelin? I'm actually curious. Oh, he left last summer. Wow, interesting. I didn't even know that. But anyways, I mean, for Michelin, man, they did the best they could. But obviously, I think they were kind of going this game defensive, which I think was that the right approach for them in this game?
I think the approach was, as long as they didn't leave themselves open, I don't think it was a terrible approach.
Yeah, well, I mean, you watched this game, so you can obviously go more detail. I didn't really watch much in this game,
so yeah, I watched this game because it was going to whoever got through was going to be
playing against
Porto's opponent. So I was, of course, intrigued to watch it. Nottingham Forest were very good in the first half. They created quite a few chances. The goal was from a header that was perfectly executed. As the assistant commentator said, the only way the goalkeeper was able to save it is if he was able to jump higher than the crossbar. The header was that good that it managed to loop overwards and then down at the right moment. Midtjylland did have some chances, but Nottingham Forest looked more favourable. And the second half, Midtjylland did manage to keep it tighter after Nottingham Forest scored the second goal. I do think that they had chances to tie the game up in the second half. I thought that was the second half was when they looked at their best. They were also very physical, especially in the latter end where it got difficult for Nottingham Forest there. The referee was being quite soft on calling fouls. He did let quite a lot go. And then in extra time, Nottingham Forest had the better chances, and then they had a second goal ruled out for offside. Very close margins. It was initially ruled out, but then VAR had a look because it was close, but they concluded that the goal was ruled out. And then I think both sides had chances at the end, like one each. But over the two legs, Forest were the better team. But
Yeah.
I don't think Midtjylland were completely out the races. I think they could have certainly over the two legs done enough to get through. And did you see the penalty shootout?
Yeah, I didn't watch it, but I heard that Michelin missed 3 penalties in a row, which was crazy.
Yeah, well, Nottingham Forest penalties were all very good. Michelin's 2 hit the post and the same post, in fact, and the third penalty, the guy slipped as he was taking it and the ball went straight over the bar.
Man, this reminds me of I think it was Japan-Croatia. I think that was the game. Oh, it reminds me of that one where Japan missed like I think 3 pens in a row or something.
I think it was 2 missed, 1 scored, and then another missed.
Yeah. So I mean, at least Japan scored here. Michelin didn't even score at all. But yeah, I do agree with you, Matt. That Forest were the much better team over the course of 180 minutes, and for Michelin, it's a shame because they did so well in the league phase. You know, they got top 8 against all the odds, and then they came crashing down. Which is why I said the league phase isn't really a good metric. You know, you shouldn't use the league phase to always base your predictions. Like, okay, you know, and so it was not. And for Forest, man, it's crazy. They're making the Europa League quarterfinals, and they're still in the relegation battle. How interesting is that? You know, so
they're on their 4th manager now.
Yeah, that's crazy. Maybe who knows? Maybe they might win the Europa League while being relegated. We joked about that with Sevilla, but now we might see it with Forest. I mean, I don't think this team will win the Europa League, but just saying that if it does happen, it'll be crazy. But yeah, for Mitchell,
yeah,
oh, sorry, what are you saying?
I don't think Nottingham Forest will win this Europa League either, but they do look a bit better under Vitor Pereira, and they might have enough to stay in the Premier League. But then again, and it's hard to call who's that 18th team.
Yeah, bro. Why did Igor Jesus not even play this game? That makes no sense. The guy was literally on the bench. I don't even know why he didn't play at all. This game is kind of crazy. And why is YSL's not starting? That's kind of surprising too.
Ortega's in goal. Remember, he was at Man City.
Yeah,
in fact, I think he's on loan from Man City.
Okay. Actually, let's go check Ortega because I know this good. Man, this keeper's good at Man City. Oh, he actually is a permanent deal. Wow. Oh, he just moved this summer. I mean, this window, February window. I mean, this.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of also worth noting that the fact that Nottingham Forest have been in a relegation battle, you can understand if the manager might want to change up the goalkeeper to see if that's going to help.
Yeah, obviously. So,
and Ortega himself in this game, I thought, did well, even though he didn't need to save any of the penalties.
Yeah, Ortega's a good goalkeeper. I think he's always been an underrated goalkeeper. Even at Man City, I remember Man City at times he made some big saves. Like I think that was against Tottenham Hotspur, that save that's against Son to help City win that Premier League that season. Yeah, that was a big.
Funnily enough, he saved another 1-on-1 against a South Korean.
Wow,
and it was a forward player too.
I mean, Matthew, you remember that save right in that I think it was Man City Tottenham match. I think a few years ago.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Deja vu.
Yeah, let's read some of you guys' comments. Lyon won dominate the French league. Yeah, that's true. But at least Lyon did it like with merit. Like it's not like they spend money. It's not like they're getting the money through, Qataris. So
when I got into football, I could remember Marseille and Lyon being on about the same level.
Yeah. I didn't even know Braga versus Ferencváros happened yesterday. Yeah, it was an early kickoff. It was like, I think 11:30 my time in the Wednesday. And obviously on Wednesday, usually more people focus on the Champions League games. So at least it didn't clash with the Champions League games. So that was nice. Michelin missed 3 penalties in a row. Terrible pens. Got the result spot on. Ortega almost made a massive error. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Wait. Almost made a massive error? Is that true, Matt? I mean, you watched this game, so can you verify that?
Yeah. It's possible I missed it. But just trying to remember. Was it from one of the set pieces? Maybe Pookie he will be able to share, and maybe I've missed it, or maybe I'll be like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is the moment he's referring to, but one or two moments Ortega did almost get caught out with the press,
Oh yeah, I
like
remember this.
early on in the game.
Yeah, I feel like yeah, Ortega kind of reminds me of Ederson, but like a better version of Ederson. That makes any sense, you know. So, but I do think he's better than Ederson, though. I'll say that. But yeah, I mean, congrats to Nottingham Forest, and it's really interesting. If away goals had counted, we would have got done in 90 minutes. We wouldn't have gotten extra time or penalties. So
The same would be said for Roma vs Bologna, wouldn't it?
yeah, true. Yeah, I miss away goals, man. Oh well, it is what it is. All right, let's move on to the next game we got here. It is where is it? Okay, right here. Aston Villa 2, Lyon 3. There's not really much to say. Aston Villa 2, Lyon nil. Lyon nil. There's not really much to say. We all expected Aston Villa to win this one. And yeah, Premier League teams, man, they're doing well in Europa League at least. Two of them advanced to the quarterfinals. As for the Champions League, but here they're doing well, and yeah,
same number of teams advanced in the Champions League.
Yeah. As for Lille, just not really good enough in the final third. Even though the stats look pretty even, quality-wise, Villa were just better. And obviously, McGinn scored. Sancho got the assist. And yeah, Sancho's still at Villa. I didn't even realize he's still at Villa. He's on loan there. So yeah, I mean, for Villa, as I said, not really much to judge off of because the tie is already done. And for Lille, they put up a decent, respectable performance, I suppose. But yeah, for Villa, man, McGinn scored the goal, and then obviously come off the bench, you had Leon Bailey scoring the goal. So yeah, it's good to see. And yeah, not really much to say there for Villa. I think it was a professional win for them. They were clinical. Lee were obviously not. And yeah, Emi Martinez made some big saves. And yeah, what's there to say?
They're a contender to win the tournament.
Yeah, I've been hearing,
but not an outright contender.
Yes. Well, actually, no. I want to say I have some more things to say, but I'll save it when we get to the quarterfinal preview. So let's see what other games we have to discuss. Why does it keep going on the screen? That's so annoying.
Would it be worth?
Yeah, let's do it this way.
Would it be worth keeping that tab and then opening another one? Did you talk about Freiburg versus Genk?
Oh yeah, let's talk about Freiburg versus Genk. Wait, what?
I didn't watch this games, but what I can say is I'm surprised that Freiburg won in this manner. Because
yeah, I'm not surprised.
I haven't been rated. I don't rate this Freiburg team.
Yeah, what's really surprised? I had a feeling Freiburg would just win just because the second league was at their stadium, but bro, I didn't expect them to win this big. 5-1, man. And for Freiburg, I don't know if you know this, Matt, this is the first time I read that they made the quarterfinals of the Europa League. So congrats to them. Matinovic scored. Suzuki got the assist and Grifo. And yeah, for Genk, I think that's the thing with Belgian teams, man. They're so good at home, but on the road, Genk or Belgian teams are just generally bad. That is how I feel about Belgian teams in general. I saw this with Club Brugge. I saw this with Genk. I've seen this with other teams. Like, it almost feels like Belgian teams in general, they're just strong home teams, but on the road, they're just generally not good. So
I suppose that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, for Freiburg, as I said, man, huge win for them. And has this changed your opinion of Freiburg, or are you still thinking, you still think this is just Genk tax?
Well, how many? So,
wow, they were clinical. 6 shots.
5 goals from 6 shots is impressive. Although, how many of the off-target shots were close misses? But okay, let's see how they do against Celta Vigo.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting match. And for Genk, I think they still had a great season. Still making round of 16 was still a great achievement. as a Belgian team. They defeated Dinamo Zagreb, and I still think it's been a good season for them. They almost made top 8, but it is what it is. They just met a superior team, and they just got overran. All right, and then the final game we'll discuss. Actually, no, we got another game. Let's do this one next. Real Betis 4, Panathinaikos 0, and that is what I like about Real Betis. This was a dominant win. Ruibal scored, Amrabat scored, Hernandez scored, Anthony scored. And for Real Betis, huge win for them. And for Panathinaikos, they just got overran. And for Real Betis,
there's no Isco too.
Wow, look at this. This is so dominant. 22 shots, 11 on target. Bro, the fact they only scored 4 goals is kind of crazy. And bro, look at this.
Yeah, I probably would have predicted 3-0, possibly 2-0, but I'd say I'm not surprised. I think this is a team that can definitely win this competition.
Yeah, Amrabat, man, wow, what a goal that was from the quarter line there, crazy from that distance. And look at the XG, man, 0.02 XG. Yeah, I mean, for Panathinaikos, man, hey, fair enough, they won the first leg, but yeah, they just got overran, and it's not really surprising here. So yeah, not surprised, man. They just got overran, and for Real Betis, man, as you said, no Isco as well, man. Isco is actually injured, and Lo Celso is injured as well. So quality players. You didn't have to bring on Firpo. You didn't even have to bring on Bakambu. So this Real Betis team is looking good. And now for the final game, Porto 2, Stuttgart 0. Yeah, I mean, it was Stuttgart actually played really well in this game. I'm surprised, but they didn't score, though. But Porto were clinical on the day, and Costa was man of the match. So I'll let you actually talk about Porto.
Yeah, I will say in the first 20 minutes, it did get scary, given that Stuttgart had the ball near our penalty area for a lot of that time. They managed to win in a couple of free kicks, including one where Pablo Rosario, the defensive midfielder at that time, got booked. And in that section of the game, and even in the rest of the game as well, Diogo Costa had to make numerous saves, and a lot of them weren't catches. A lot of the time, he had to parry the ball all out for corners. But getting that at William Gomez getting that goal in the 21st minute, I think it was a big moment. I think certainly we were more clinical in this leg than we were in the first leg, because even though Stuttgart themselves arguably had more chances, Porto themselves had chances, and we did a few. Well, we didn't take a few big ones, but this time more clinical and an okay attacking performance. Did what we needed to do, and the second goal, I would suggest to check it out. Well, first, that was a longish ball that eventually Froholt found himself further up the pitch. Didn't quite keep control of the ball, but then persisted to take it back off the defender. And then what a finish that was. Outside the box, rocketed it to the roof of the net. No chance for new ball. And towards the end, maybe Porto could have made it 3-0, but it was all fine. And Undav and Elkanous, they tried. They did test Costa, but it just wasn't enough. I don't know where AD has gone, but he must have cut out or something like that. But nonetheless, I think though Stuttgart maybe deserved a draw, certainly Porto did enough in both legs to deserve going through. And but Costa definitely had to make at least 8 saves. So yeah, but good to also see Gomez and Froholt step up, and Gomez 2 goals in 2 games. When I was starting to questioning whether he had enough end product, but good to see him starting to get back in form. I'll just check Discord to see. Nothing from AD. I haven't seen any Twitter DMs from him. Yeah, Pookie. As I was saying, that second Porto goal was a banger. Stuttgart did have chances, but for the most part, I mean, at the beginning, it was as they were misfiring, but kind of after 10 minutes, Costa was making numerous saves. Just tag AD in Discord. But I'm happy enough with what Porto did in this game, and I'm excited for the quarterfinal. AD's back.
Yeah, sorry about that. My Wi-Fi disconnected for some reason. So, yeah, I mean, basically, as I was saying, yeah, Porto, man, they got the job done. And I do feel like in some ways, like if Porto didn't win the first leg, this could have been a lot more interesting the second leg. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think. Although I think I wonder if Stuttgart would have been this proactive if had they not
true.
lost. I mean, perhaps if it was a draw, but they sort of had to play like this. But
yeah,
I think regardless of the result, I was still confident that Porto would win at home in some capacity, even if it had to take going to extra time.
Yeah, because that's the thing with the Stuttgart team is that this team is a really good, solid team, but the issue with this team is that they're just not clinical. This is not a team that can convert their chances very well. So,
and also when they get going, they look very good, but they're not always a consistent team.
So you're saying like they're consistent, like spam of minutes. They're not like they're consistent like for lapses, like not a full game.
Well, you know? I think at their from what I was told by FBE EP Americana, Stuttgart at their best are brilliant to watch, but they're not like that every game.
Yeah. So and Costa, man, making some big saves. Where would Porto be without Costa, man? Costa is such an amazing keeper. Like, and we know how important keepers are. Keepers can single-handedly win you competitions. I've seen so many times, like, the keeper single-handedly. I remember, like, I think it was a 2022 season for Real Madrid. Courtois was insane. And I believe if Courtois didn't go insane, I don't think Real Madrid would have won the Champions League. I know Vinny was amazing that season. I know Benzema was fantastic. But I do believe a keeper is so important. And I feel like if
2019 as well.
If Porto's to win this Europa League, I think Costa will be that guy. He'll be that guy to be that winning piece, you know? So, I mean, Mats, do you agree that Porto are really lucky to have him? And I'm going to say this right now. You might have the best goalkeeper left in this competition.
Yeah, I mean there is Martinez for Aston Villa, but you could also make the argument of Costa's been better in the competition. But yeah, he's being good asset, and he's part of the reason that we've got the best defense in Portugal as well.
Yeah, for Stuttgart, man, it's interesting. So, looking at the quarterfinalists, I think we have 5 teams that made the quarterfinals. So, Aston Villa, Real Betis, Porto, Braga, and Freiburg. Roma and Lyon and Roma, Michelin, and Lyon are the only ones that make it. So we got 5 of the 8. So looking at the quarterfinals, so which quarterfinal excites me the most?
From a new, if I'm not counting my own club, I'd say Braga versus Real Betis.
Ooh, okay, that's an interesting one. Spain versus Portugal. We saw the Nations League final. That's a good shout.
And they're both like B tier teams in their own league, but they've both been in good form.
I like Porto Nottingham Forest. I think that's a great match. That's an interesting match.
I'm excited for that one.
Portugal versus England. That's going to
be we did lose to them in the league phase, but they had referees help them. 2 penalties and a disallowed goal. Even though that second penalty was deserving, the other calls were questionable. So because otherwise that's a draw, and maybe Forest are looking better now than they did under Sean Dyche. But I think we're in a good position, and I think our odds are good against them, despite what happened in the game in the league phase.
Yeah. Keep in mind, though, I think the game, the first leg is going to be at home. That you have to win that first leg, 100%.
I don't know actually, because
it's at
I mean, I think if it is at home, then it's
it's at home.
Well, okay, but I suppose because Braga, or I guess what I was wondering is maybe Braga or Porto have to play one of the first legs away, but it could also be that one of them has to play on a Wednesday. But yeah, I'm happy with this draw, and I think having the home leg. I think although we seem to do fine having the away leg against Stuttgart first, but playing at home first, chance to inflict some distance and give Nottingham Forest a harder task to do when they back at home. And we have been a fortress at home this season. The only loss we've had was in a Mickey Mouse tournament, and even though we did draw both our home games in the league against Braga and Sporting CP, Benfica and Sporting CP, Benfica parked the bus and Sporting CP had a last-minute penalty, which was deserved, but still, it took that sort of margin for them to not lose. So yeah, we've been a fortress at home, and I'd be confident. The second leg, I don't think we'd win, but I think it would either be a draw or we lose and get the result in extra time.
Yeah, it's really interesting. We can get all Spanish affair in the semifinals. That'll be interesting. And all English one too, potentially. And it's really nice that we're not gonna get a same team. We're not gonna get 2 teams from the same league in the final, which I think is great.
We might do Braga and Porto.
Oh yeah, Braga and Porto. Well, that's the only one, but we're not gonna get all English final, all Spanish final, which I'm happy with. But yeah, Braga Porto is, to be fair, possible. And yeah, looking
at this of 2011. Yeah, Radamel Falcao with a goal.
Yeah, look at these quarterfinals. I think we have some great quarterfinals. I think all the quarterfinals look interesting. Yeah, so for me, I'm gonna say Porto Forest is the best. I would say second is probably Braga Betis. I think third is Freiburg Celta. Actually, you know what? I might put Freiburg Celta first, actually, because that one I think could go either way. That one could go either way.
Yeah, I think it's not the best quality, but it's I as of now I can't instantly pick a winner from that.
Yeah, that one's touch and go. It's 50-50. Whereas the other 3, that's kind of a clear favorite. Let's be real. So, I'm not gonna mention the teams, but I think it's kind of obvious. So I'll say second, I'll say Porto Forest. Then third, I'll say Braga Betis, and I think last is Bologna Villa. Because yeah, I just think Villa are the strongest team here. And I want to ask you this question, Matt. I saw some people say this. Do you think Villa have to win? Because do you think Villa, if Villa don't win this Europa League, is a failure of a season?
Well, in the Europa League, yes. Domestically, I think it would still be a good season if they were able to get at another other place in UEFA competitions.
Yeah, because
Um, and I know they did finish high last season, but we've got to remember that only recently they were before then they weren't competing that high in the table. Like they didn't have a reputation for doing so.
yeah, for me, Villa have to either get top four or top five, let's say, or win the Europa League. Either one of the two, because they're not doing both. I'm telling you right now, they're not doing both. And you know how I know this is because 4 years ago they didn't win the Conference League, but they managed to get top four. You know, and so, and I think that was a competition they should have won, that Conference League. To be honest with you,
Yeah,
so I feel like they're gonna have to pick and choose. And if I'm Unai Emery, I'm going for the Europa League. To be honest with you, I'm going for the Europa League just because Europa League is a trophy, and you don't get a trophy for getting Champions League football. You know, so and this might be Villa's best opportunity to get a trophy in a long
and you
time.
might get another chance next season if you end up finishing in the Europa League and League this season.
Now, but I think Villa need to get it. They need to win a trophy. It's been great and all for Unai Emery to do all this project, but you have to win a trophy at some point. And Villa haven't won a trophy yet under his tenure.
But like,
Yeah.
if they finish, if regardless what happens in the Europa League this season, if they finish in the Europa League spots in the Premier League, then they'll have another chance next season.
I mean that is true. That's a good point, but I still feel like they need to get Champions League. They have to get Champions League one way or another.
Yeah,
And so for me, Unai Emery, I think it's better to go for the Europa League, in my opinion, because I do believe that of all the teams left, they have the best team. Now, does that mean they'll win it? Not necessarily, but they have the best
I'd agree.
roster, the best squad. You know. So let's do a power rankings. Actually, I think it's gonna be interesting. So for me, I'd say first is Villa. I think second is Real Betis,
Yeah,
and then third, I'm actually
I'll
putting
say
Porto.
Yeah, I'll
Porto.
say Porto as well.
And then fourth,
I'll
I wish
say I'm think I'm tempted to say Braga, Bologna, Nottingham Forest, Celta Vigo, Freiburg.
I'm gonna say Braga fourth. Fifth, I'll say
Yeah,
Bologna. Sixth,
yeah.
I'll say Celta, I suppose. And then seventh, I'll say Freiburg, and the eighth is Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest, I give the
Okay.
lowest chance. And but you know what? You never know with the Europa League because Europa League is unpredictable at times. I mean, we've seen Spurs won the Europa League last season. Freaking Spurs, you know, and while they were in the bottom half of the table. So imagine Forest do the same.
Yeah, and it'll be more impressive because Nottingham Forest had a they will have had a harder road to the final.
Yeah, that's true. So I'm very interested to see what happens. And yeah, obviously the quarterfinals will take place after the international break. And yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what all transpires here. And so for Porto, as I said, man, it's gonna be interesting. And for me, as a neutral, basically, I'm okay with any team that wins this, barring Aston Villa. Basically, and Forest, actually. I don't want Forest to win this. So basically, barring Forest and Villa, I'm okay
I'm
with
gonna
any.
try and go to that away game to Nottingham Forest. Even though I went and to the league phase game, I'm gonna aim to go again.
Yeah, and by the way, you guys are probably wondering how come some of the teams finish in the top eight have the second leg at home that didn't finish the top eight. Well, UEFA made this rule that if you beat the team that's a higher seeded, you automatically get their second leg. So that's how it is. That's how UEFA decided to do. Um, Personally, I think that's kind of fair in my opinion. Like if you be the higher seeded team, you should be able to get rewarded with the second leg being at home. So I think it's kind of nice that UEFA did that. They should have done that last season, though, in my opinion. But oh well, it is what it is. So Matt, yeah, just to answer if you had that question, I don't know if you know that. I don't know if you know that But
Yeah, I didn't take that into account.
yeah. Do you think it's good? Do you think it's good idea UEFA did that?
Uh, was it necessary? No. Is there an idea in it? Yes.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't necessary, but I do feel like it's good. Like I feel like you should have a reward. So I mean I think it's kind of cool, but yeah. Anyways, we're gonna move to the conference league. We're gonna touch them on.
My prediction set for semi. Oh, or are you doing that later?
I mean, you can predict now. We're moving on from this. I'm not gonna give my predictions. I'm gonna save for my video, but you can give your predictions here if you want.
Yeah. I had this Braga Betis semi quarterfinal in my video, and I'm going to still say Real Betis to go through. Hard to call all that other leg, but I think I'll give it to Celta Vigo because I think they've proven a bit more. I've got Porto to beat Nottingham Forest, and I think Aston Villa will join Porto in that semi-final.
Ooh. So we're saying we're getting all Spanish. Not fair. So that means we're gonna get a Spanish team in the final.
Yes.
Ooh, that'll be nice. That'll be nice. All right, moving on to the conference league. We're gonna be very brief here, obviously, but conference league wise, let's just look at the fixtures real quick. Let's just see what any upset.
Oh, I also remember something else, and that's today I submitted a ticket application to be in the Porto end of the Europa League final earlier today.
Oh, that's great. All right, so AAK advanced, which was expected. Palace won 2-1 away, keeping the Premier League hopes alive. So we have now 5 Premier League teams left in Europe. The Mainz won, Fiorentina won. Rayo lost, but they still advanced. Shakhtar barely did it. And oh my G, Sparpro, you got obliterated 4-0 at home. Have some shame. And the Strasbourg literally did the bare minimum. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So let's go ahead and look at the quarterfinals. Obviously, we're going to be very brief here, but yeah, I mean, ooh, I think we could all agree. We know which one's the best quarterfinal. It's obviously this one.
Yeah, but that's also the tougher side of. Well, they've certainly got the bigger names on that side of the bracket.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at. So I think the only unseeded team that advanced was AZ Alkmaar. No, actually, no, sorry. Palace and Fiorentina were unseeded too. They didn't finish top 8. Actually, let me just check. Which teams finished the top 8 made the quarters? So Strasbourg made it. Athens made it. Rayo made it. Shakhtar made it. And Mainz made it. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 teams. So around half, I think, right? Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, so I mean, looking at this right here, I mean, Palace Fiorentina is definitely the best. I think we can all agree. And it's kind of interesting. Both teams have been underperforming this season. Both teams have been mid for their standards. So that means we're getting guaranteed one of the heavyweights to get knocked out, which is great. I did not want a Palace Fiorentina final. With all due respect, I wanted to get something more unpredictable. And Strasbourg and Mainz. So you know it's interesting. We have like two. Like this is the only side with no top 5 leagues in it, which is interesting. That's the only quarterfinal.
Yeah.
So,
my early thoughts is that it'll be one of Crystal Palace or Fiorentina against Mainz. I've seen a bit of Mainz this season, and it's Stuttgart in particular. They competed very well against them.
Yeah. So it's interesting when you look at the Conference League winners, we've had a Spanish team. No, actually, we've had an Italian team win it. We have had an English team win it. And we've had a Greece team win it. So obviously, there's no Greece represent. Well, actually, no, there's
two English teams win it. In fact.
Oh yeah, 2 English teams. Yeah, sorry, 2
West Ham and Chelsea.
Yeah, I forgot West Ham. 1 Italian team and 1 Greece team. So for me, I think this is the best quarterfinal. I'll say this is second best, third,
agreed.
And this is the least, in my opinion.
I probably would have said that one was third.
Yeah. Though you can make an argument this might be the most interesting one because that one is kind of 50-50, you could maybe argue. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking at these quarter. Let's do a quick power rankings, I guess. For the best squads.
Okay.
I would say best squad is probably still Palace. I'll say first.
Yeah, probably.
I'll say
I don't know these teams as well.
second. I'll say Strasbourg. I think Strasbourg have the second best team, to be honest.
Okay.
Third, I'll say Mainz. I think fourth, I'll say Fiorentina. Fifth, I'll say Rio. Sixth, I'll say AZ. No, actually, I might go AK Athens. And then seventh, I'll say AZ Alkmaar, and then Shakhtar, I think, have the lowest chance. So, yeah. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what final we can get because we're guaranteed we're not going to get a same nation final for sure. That is one thing for sure. So, this final is going to be very interesting. And for me, as I said before, I would love to see a French team win this. Strasbourg would be awesome. That'd be kind of cool to see. We saw Chelsea won it last season, and we know Strasbourg and Chelsea are kind of close. So imagine Strasbourg win it. German team would also be cool. Basically, I don't want any. Basically, I'm basically rooting for everyone except, I guess, Palace. I guess.
I'll root for Palace.
It's nothing really against Palace. I just don't want a Prem team to win it, to be honest. And Palace happens to be the only Prem team here, so that's kind of why. So nothing against Palace, though. Palace is a cool team. If I had to pick an
respectable club too.
If I had to pick an English team of the ones that are left, then Palace is probably fair. But I just don't want Premier League teams to do well. That's my thing. But I mean, we'll see what happens with the quarterfinals, indeed. So let's go ahead and let me see how many predictions I got. So I called Shakhtar, I believe. No, actually, I did. Yeah, I think I predicted Shakhtar. Yeah, I predicted Shakhtar. I called this one wrong, so I got this one wrong. I got this one right. I got this one right. So 3. We got both these right. Okay, so basically, I think the only one I messed up was AZ Alkmaar. And then for the Europa League, I think I got all the ones. Basically, I predicted all the seeded teams to make it through, and 3 of them missed out. And in the Champions League, I missed out with Man City and messed out with Bodo Glimt. So, yeah, 6. So, I think I'm 6.
I think I got 5 out of 8 in the Europa League.
Yeah, so I got 6 in the Champions League. I got 5 in the Europa League, and I think I got 7 here. So, all right, let's look at the gaming predictor real quick, and then we'll wrap it up, I suppose. Let's look at the UCL predictor first. Okay, I called this one. Wait, hold on. Where's the login thing? Okay, I called this one right. Arsenal 1, Leverkusen 0. Although I didn't call them to win 2-0. Yeah, that was a bad prediction there. I was too generous there. Okay, I almost got this one. But okay. Liverpool 3, Galatasaray 1. Okay, so leagues wise, I'm currently 7th in the league, which is bad. Basically conference league level. UEL predictor. Predictions wise, I said 1-1, 2-1, 2-1. Hey, I got the only one I got spot on was Real Betis. So interesting there. And the leagues wise, I'm 2nd. Bro, this guy has 904 points. How would this guy have 900 points? Oh, that's insane. Wow. Yeah, I'm definitely cooked. And then the Conference League. Man, Magic. Wow. Bare minimum 1-0. Okay, you know what? Close enough. Oh man. Well. Okay. At leagues wise, 3rd. So yeah. That's gonna be it for me, I suppose. So any final thoughts from you, Matt, for round up? I think that's a good way to wrap it up for today's stream.
I'm excited for the next round of the Europa League.
Yeah. How about the Conference League, man? Are you excited for that too?
I don't think I'll be watching it, but I think certainly there are some interesting quarterfinals there.
Yeah. So yeah, that's gonna be pretty much be it for you guys. So hope you guys enjoy. You guys like and subscribe on your way out, guys. And I'll see you guys in the next one.
Any more comments?
No, I think that's the last one. That's the last one. So, all right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.